Let me ask you something. Do you feel tired all the time, kind of foggy with low drive, and no matter how hard you train or how clean you eat, your results just aren't showing for your efforts? Because that's not normal, and it's not just aging. It's actually testosterone, and it's under attack. Now, over the last 40 years, sperm counts have declined by about 50%, and testosterone itself, on average, is down 1% a year, which means every man today has lower test levels than his granddad did, even if he's doing all the right things on paper. But here's the truth behind it. You don't have to accept this. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what's killing your testosterone, how to fix it naturally using a 4-phase blueprint that I've used with hundreds of my clients. And this isn't just about numbers. This is about how you feel when you wake up, how you lead, how you show up in your work and in your relationships, and the mission that you're working towards every single day. Because testosterone itself is the fuel behind your energy, your strength, and your edge. So without it, you're just coasting and you're missing out on the connections, the money that you probably didn't even realize you're missing out on because you just can't show up effectively. And I want to help you fix that. So you may be thinking, why does this matter? If your testosterone's low, everything gets harder as a man. You know, you're dragging yourself through the day, your workouts feel flat, you probably snap at people around you and just generally feel numb. Maybe your sex drive's taking a hit as well, or you're thinking that it's just in your head, but reality is it's in your blood, and it's something very few people understand. Because the bottom line is, low testosterone affects your ability to build and recover muscle. It affects your sleep quality, it affects your mental focus and motivation, it even affects your emotional stability, and all of that is underpinned by your ability to be fertile and have long-term health. But here's where it gets you. Most guys go to their doctor, get a 5-minute consultation, and you get a basic test. You might have been there, and you get told that you're in a normal range. Truth is, normal isn't the goal, optimal is. So when we're looking at conventional medicine, the normal range for test is a pretty broad range. It's between 8 to 29 nanomoles per litre. But many men start feeling way off before they even hit that lower limit. That was the case for me. And here's the really annoying part. Even if your testosterone is fine, there's another hormone called sex hormone binding globulin, which basically binds and locks away your free circulating testosterone, making most of it unavailable for use. So on paper, your test might look good, but your body's starved of what it actually needs. And this then creates a loop. So low testosterone leads to poor sleep and low motivation, which then leads to more stress and worse habits down the line, which suppresses your testosterone even further. So you can see how it's a vicious cycle. And I've worked with hundreds of guys to break that loop, and the blueprint that I'm going to give you access to right now is exactly how we do it. So when we're talking about the testosterone blueprint, it's really about implementing the exact proven system that we've used with hundreds of guys, and that includes a 4-phase audit. Now, the first phase is really about understanding what's going on underneath the hood for you, because if you don't measure it, you're simply just guessing. And if you're only measuring, say, one biomarker, which is often what guys get tested for in conventional medicine like testosterone, you're missing bigger pieces of the picture. So we're going to run through exactly what you want to be testing for in that audit phase. So some of the core biomarkers that I recommend and we include in our athlete grade blood panel is total testosterone, which is how much you have in a tank essentially. We've then got your free testosterone, which is the amount you can actually utilize within your body. We've then got SHBG, which is sex hormone binding globulin. Now, we mentioned this earlier, it's a protein that traps or binds to testosterone, making it inactive. We then have estrogen, because reality is too much conversion from testosterone into estrogen is a red flag. So if your estrogen's high, you're going to be feeling the symptoms of low testosterone quite often for guys who are busy. Then we have DHEA and cortisol. They tell us how stressed your body is, because when we're looking at your blood through a functional medicine lens, we're looking at the total bigger picture, not just biomarkers in isolation. And this is why in conventional medicine, it's more of a symptom treatment approach, whereas we're looking at the root cause issue and how your body is working in an interconnected set of systems. So when we're thinking of your body in that full set of interconnected systems, we don't just have your endocrine system, which manages your sex hormones. We also have your thyroid hormones, because these ultimately affect your energy, they affect your mood, they affect your ability to burn fat. And then underpinning all of that, we have vitamins and minerals like vitamin D, vitamin B12, magnesium, and zinc, which as a guy you've probably heard of are important, because these are the raw materials and building blocks and precursors to be able to effectively produce your test. So in phase one, think of it like running diagnostics on your car. You don't just look at the fuel gauge, you check the oil, the battery, the filters, and the warning lights. Same thing here with your body. We're not looking at biomarkers in isolation, because I also often look at things like gut health. If you're inflamed or not absorbing nutrients, it doesn't matter how well you eat. If your liver's overworked, your body can't get rid of excess estrogen. So it's about the bigger picture. So to give you an example, this is something I see with a lot of clients. They come in, they have normal test levels, and they are saying that they are crashing in their energy by 2 p.m. every day in the office. And when we run the bloods, it turns out most of the time they have high sex hormone binding globulin. And once you put in a protocol to lower that in a normal range, their energy comes firing back. So once we've gone through phase one and we've audited, we've maybe run the bloods, we've looked at what's in your environment that could be affecting your testosterone, we then go into phase two, which is what I call the eliminate phase. And this is really about addressing the big rocks, or what I call the big rocks, the things that once adjusted will create that biggest internal shift for you in terms of naturally boosting your test. And these are things that could be silently killing your natural levels. So when it comes to elimination, it's not just about working harder or eating more protein and not doing certain things. It's just about looking again holistically about your health from a bigger picture, cutting out things like plastics and chemicals found in water bottles, soaps, receipts, takeout containers. These mimic estrogen, confuse your hormones. And then of course we've got sleep habits. So things like, we're all guilty of it, scrolling Instagram late at night in bed, or falling asleep with the blue light TV on. Your testosterone is made when you sleep. So a really simple framework is just think no sleep, no fuel. And when it comes to things like your diet, social behaviors, things like alcohol, hyper-processed foods, these can both spike estrogen as well and trash your recovery. And when we're talking about recovery in terms of your trainability, hitting the gym hard but not sleeping or not eating properly, that ultimately just is a spiral towards burnout and not growth. So now I know if you've been struggling with the signs and symptoms of testosterone, you may be just thinking about how it's affecting your physique. But one of the ways we look at our guys inside the program on a personal level, a physical level, and a professional level is that the professional side of things is massively overlooked. If you have aspirations to scale a business, be the most dominant guy in the workplace, and have that alpha energy that you're showing up with, a lot of the time if your test is low, you don't have that foundational base to get up and get that drive every single day. And this is something we often help our clients overcome so that they can go into their career and absolutely dominate. Jesse was in exactly this position. He was already in a good spot, but he went from good to great, and this is what he had to say.
For me, the thing that I always ran into is that I never really stuck to one thing for a longer period of time, because I never saw the results after a while, because I didn't really understand the process of it. I would suggest, if you're really serious about your health, for me, it only helped me become better for my business. It helped me perform better. It helped me feel better. It helped me look better. I did it in a very short amount of time. It has given me a new fundamental basis which I can live from, basically, because we've done this once, but the knowledge that I got now is something I can use every single day for the rest of my life.
So we've got phase 3 of the blueprint. We've already audited what could be potentially hindering your test. We've looked at eliminating factors that are suppressing things. Now it's about phase 3, which is optimizing naturally. So here's what I want you to think about it. Now that we've maybe stopped the leaks that are naturally killing your test, it's time to rebuild the foundation so that you can begin to naturally thrive again. And this phase is all about doing the right things, but consistently, those world-class basics. And this is the full plan that you're going to want to make notes on. So the first thing is your training. Now, most guys come to me wanting the complex stuff, all of the hybrid, juggling multiple goals at once. We want to keep it stupid simple. Simply strength train 3 to 5 times a week max so that you can recover. These sessions want to be made up of the bulk of your compound lifts, your classic big three, your squat, your bench, your deadlifts, your pull-ups. You want to keep sessions under an hour, avoid burning out, and train with intensity. Walking daily, including in that, the 10K steps is ideal, but not essential. 7K is a great starting point for most busy guys. And the reason why I say 7K steps is a great starting point is because the reality is, if you've got your nutrition dialed in and you can control your body composition through your diet, you don't have to move as much. And the focus with your nutrition should be around eating real food. Prioritizing protein, whole foods like beef, fish, eggs, stuff that's rich in collagen, so that when you get your fats in, it supports testosterone production because fats have cholesterol usually, and it's a precursor to what testosterone is actually made from. Think of it like the building blocks, you know, eggs, butter, olive oil, your red meats. These are all your friends. And when it comes to your carbohydrates, I want you to use the analogy, give your body what it needs when it needs it. Just be smart about it. Have your fruits, your potatoes, your honey around your training because you're naturally going to use them and help regulate your blood sugar naturally. And a big mistake that I see guys making with the nutrition is demonizing fat. For guys, fat is your friend. It's the precursor for testosterone. So make sure you're hitting around 1 gram per kilo of body weight. So when we're talking about things like cholesterol as precursors for testosterone production, we also have those micronutrients that are essential for your body to naturally regulate and produce testosterone. Things like zinc is your body's release for testosterone. Magnesium, it calms your nervous system and helps with every single cell and really promotes that deep sleep, which is where your testosterone is produced. So think about things like vitamin D. You know, it boosts mood, it boosts your immune system, and it aids towards testosterone production. And if you are in a country like the UK where the sunlight isn't that prominent, this should pretty much for most people be a year-round supplement. And obviously the thing that ties this all together is ultimately your lifestyle habits. So things like get outside for 30 minutes of walking on waking to naturally get that sunlight into your eyes. Essentially resets your body clock. You know, we want to be having that habit of ditching screens before bed because, again, those blue lights can mess with your hormone signaling. Things like cold showers in the morning, saunas in the evening, breathing deeply, all of these things ultimately help regulate your nervous system, which means the less stress we're under, the more naturally our body will produce testosterone. And finally, the fourth phase. This is the one that most guys never do. You know, don't be guilty of binge watching and hoarding information without implementation. This is going to be the difference between you getting a result, maintaining a result, or just staying in the same place 6 months from now. So the first thing I want you to do is you've got the playbook. You now need to execute it and do it consistently in a sustainable way. So get a pen and paper and make sure you implement these steps. So when we're talking about taking ownership, this is really about, as an uncompromised man, learning to lead yourself, being someone who tracks your energy, being someone who pays attention to your sleep quality, your focus. You don't need to obsess over it, but just have a system that allows you to track it. Something simple like a smartwatch is going to make this a lot easier. I then want you to think about building a morning routine that grounds you. It doesn't have to be a 10-step routine, just something that allows you to start your day without your phone, allow you to move your body, get light in your eyes, and hydrate. Those simple 4 or 5 things can be a game changer for your long-term health and hormones. And on the other end of the spectrum, we want to end your day with a clear shutdown routine. No screens, journal what went well, what needs work, and give yourself a starting point for the next day. Now, obviously, if you've built a good morning routine and a good shutdown ritual, it's really about after you've done that audit, once you understand the things that are holding you back, just making sure you build a routine around improving those areas. So write down a list of those things that you wanted to audit, eliminate, and start implementing in terms of maybe supplementation that you're not already having. And I promise you, your results will start to skyrocket. But you don't just need to take my word for it. This is the exact system that I've used with hundreds of guys to naturally optimize their test. And here's what some of my clients had to say about it.
Hi guys, I'm Nav Mansouri, super welterweight, English champion, and now a BKFC, soon to be a world champion.
And what's been your biggest mindset shift since working together and joining the program?
Mainly knowing that I'm going to reach weight. It's like my focus has gone off the weight. Working with you is like more trying to sort out my training camp. So anybody that I need to bring in as a coach to work with me, they need to know that I need to make weight, not to just work tactical side. But with you, it's like, okay, now is the tactical side. The weight section is with yourself.
So in terms of what's next, you've seen the blueprint and the 4 phases that we now implement. If you want access to the testosterone blueprint for free with the 4-stage action plan inside of it, just hit the link below. Or alternatively, if you feel like you need a bit of extra support, you can book a strategy call with either me or one of our team and we'll give you some support to help get you going. Okay, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next video.